Welcome to my equipment guide for the Bloodfang set. This is a set that you can craft with your followers. Um, let's see if I can find it here. Yes, as you can see, it has 4 armor pieces that you can craft easily, and you can also find the different pieces of equipment in dungeon number 15, which is the last dungeon in story mode, the Portal of Blood. Here, as you can see, you can farm all 6 pieces of equipment. So far, there is no variant, but there will probably be a variant in the future. Now, there are several sets in this game that are for a specific color. They are not exclusive. You can use the pieces of equipment with other colors, but they're mostly for a specific color. So, for example, the night set is for purple. The jeweled set is for yellow because it has bonuses to blinded enemies and it generates yellow gems, so on and so forth. The flame walker, fire walker set is for red. It generates red gems, as you can see. And the serpentine set is for green. It increases your armor when casting a green spell. The pauldrons can poison. The belt generates green gems if your opponent is poisoned. Again, you can use the serpentine pauldrons with a build that is not green, and it will still work because it will still have a chance to inflict poison and therefore increase your damage output. And you can use the Serpentine Ouroboros, which is the ring, to get regeneration for any build. And in fact, is the best, or should I say the easiest way to gain regeneration for any color, not just green, but is mostly green. So, what about the Bloodfang? The Bloodfang set is blue. Again, you don't need to play blue to take advantage of the different pieces of equipment, but a lot of them are for blue builds. And specifically for the full set is designed to work well with a Necromancer. And the reason why is that the Necromancer has one class specific spell that can generate skulls, which is Legion of Doom, as well as one generic spell that also generates skulls, which is Thaw the Dead, that can convert blue gems to skulls. And also, the ultimate spell for the Necromancer generates death gems, and when you explode a death gem, it generates skulls. So, the idea behind this set is to work for a physical build with a Necromancer. So let's talk about the set bonuses. For the 2 pieces, increase ice resistance by 4% for each blue gem on the board. Not particularly good. These 2 set bonus is meh. It's useful in PvP whenever you're facing a restricted arena with only blue enemies, or when you're doing a blue event, but otherwise is quite meh. The 4 set bonus, there is a 75% chance to inflict freeze on your enemy for 3 turns when you cast a spell. This is very, very powerful because of the gloves, and is exactly the reason why for my main build that I've shown in many other videos, I use 4 pieces. I use the shoulders, the gloves, the boots, and the shield specifically for this bonus. Now, you can cast freeze with spells instead. For example, if you use Channel Ice, it has a chance to freeze the enemy, but I prefer this spell configuration and I prefer to proc that bonus from the equipment itself. But it's all 4 pieces. Well, not all, it's 4 pieces. Finally, for the 6 pieces, at the start of your turn, if there are 8 or more blue gems, create 7 skull gems. And this is 100% for a blue necromancer. Again, you can use it for other builds and other classes, but specifically for the necromancer, it has its name painted on it. Now, usually the 6 piece bonus, I do not recommend them because they are not very good. However, for the Bloodfang set, I will say this is the exception to the rule. This is a very, very good 6 set bonus. However, it requires a lot of investment and a lot of preparation. So this is not I recommend for a new player and a new build. This is more of a mid to late game investment if you want a very solid build. So I will talk about this a little bit later, but now let's talk about the individual pieces of equipment. First, the weapon. The Bloodfang Twin Blade is an excellent weapon when you start any physical build because it increases your critical hit chance for each color gem on the board. Now, you can use this with every different element as long as they are of that element. So if it's green, it increases critical hit chance for each green gem on the board. If it's purple, for each purple gem on the board, and so on. One important thing to note is that this bonus is not when you're matching the gems, but at the end of the round after the matches are resolved with the new gems that drop from the top. So this bonus can go up or down a lot in the moment you need it. So it's useful to have, but it's not as reliable as other pieces of equipment that you can use to increase your critical hit chance, for example, the track gloves. Next is the shield. You have a 40% chance to freeze an enemy for 4 turns when blocking. Not particularly good, but there aren't that many useful shields to begin with. I use it for the 4 set bonus, and yeah, 40% chance out of an 80% chance to block is useful, but it's not game breaking. Next is the shoulders. The shoulder piece goes very well together with the 2 set bonus, but again, it's a defensive piece of equipment that will increase your ice resistance. Useful for elemental events or for PvP arenas that are color restricted, but otherwise mediocre at best. Next is the chest piece. It will generate blue gems when hit with a melee attack. Very useful on round 1 if you don't have enough blue gems on the board, but in the long run, as I did with my main character, I replaced it with the Mirror of the Forgotten together with the Crown of the Fallen for the Ancient Dragon set that will generate gems at the start of my turn instead of when I get hit with a melee attack. I did use this chess piece a lot when I started before I got the Ancient Dragon set, but now, yeah, it's a very good, very solid starting piece of equipment. But unless you're going to use the full set in the long run, yeah, it can be replaced with Ancient Dragon. Next are the gloves, which is the reason why you want to freeze your opponents, because you get a 30% bonus damage to frozen enemies. So this is the piece of equipment that you want to use if you want the 4 set bonus, or if you're using a spell, like I said before, like Channel Ice to freeze your opponents. Is this 30% additional bonus damage? And finally, the boots. I've mentioned the boots in other videos that if you want to have a good critical hit chance when you start, you want track gloves together with runic boots. So the difference is that the effect is the same. The difference is that the Bloodfang boots only proc when you cast a blue spell, while the runic boots work with any color. But if you're using a blue elemental, blue physical build with the track gloves, absolutely use the Bloodfang boots. They're much better than the runic boots. It's 25% instead of 15%, so you will get to the maximum 600 much faster, but only under those circumstances if you're using a blue build. Now, going back to the full set bonus that I said before, I want to talk about a little bit more. At the start of your turn, if there are 8 or more blue gems, create 7 skull gems. So as you can see, I only have these 6 pieces of equipment. I don't even have spells or minions. But let's see it in action. Let's start a fight and see what we get. And here, as you can see, it didn't proc because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue gems only. And it requires 8 or more blue gems to generate the skulls. So it didn't work. Now, this board, as you can see, has 8 columns and 6 rows. That is 48 different gems. And we have 5 colors plus skulls. So 6 different types of basic gems that you can have on round 1. Assuming the chances for each color and the skulls are the same, which I don't know if this is true or not, on average, you will get 8 of each color and 8 skulls. But again, that is an average. So sometimes the effect will proc, sometimes it won't. If only there was a way to have additional blue gems on round 1, right? Well, there is. And that is the Ancient Dragon set. This set will give you, for the 2 set bonus, at Mythic Rarity, it will create 4 gems in a mix of colors based on equipped spell colors. So obviously I need to equip some blue spells, otherwise it's not going to work. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 blue spells. And here's the thing about the Ancient Dragon set. You have chest, weapon, arms, head, amulet, and shield. However, the Bloodfang already has weapon, shield, chest, and arms. So there are only 2 pieces of equipment of the Ancient Dragon set that you can use in conjunction with the full Bloodfang set, and those are the headpiece and the amulet. And this is where things get out of control. The amulet is awesome for a green build, not for a blue build, because it generates gems of dreams on round 1. So what can happen on round 1 is that some of those 4 blue gems may be transformed into gems of dreams, and you're shooting yourself in the foot. But let's give it a try and see if it works. And it didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. but it didn't work at the start of the turn. So let's retreat, give it a try again. And now it worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it was 8 of them plus the 4 that were generated, and that also increased the number of skulls generated. So unfortunately, as you can see, it doesn't work together. The Bloodfang checks at the start of the turn before the Ancient Dragon can proc. So yeah, you can use the full Bloodfang. Let's give it another example. Let's see if we can get into a fight with 8 or more. And yeah, this time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. What this means is that there was an 8th blue gem, but it was replaced by one of the skulls, of the 7 skulls that were just created. So it's a bit of a gamble, or should I say a lot of a gamble, not just a little bit, but this is a full set that you can wear if you want to quickly do skirmish battles. It's quite similar to the round one, what was the name? Round one critical hit pseudo build video that I made. Please check it out as well. But instead of being something that you can do at the start, this is more of a mid to end game possibility. A full set that you can use, but you will need to have good critical hit chance from other pieces of equipment. Yes, your twin blade will help a little bit, but you're using the Bloodfang gloves, which prevents you from using any other gloves to increase your critical hit chance. But still, a very useful full set if you want to use it, taking into consideration that little caveat that sometimes it won't work at all. But when it works, it's going to give you a lot of skulls that will allow you to kill your opponents on round one very easily. A bit gambling, but a good option to consider. And that is my video about the Bloodfang set. If you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.